Hello everyone, and welcome to Step by Step Strategies, a guide to beating the bully. Let me begin by saying that it is my sincerest hope that as parents, family members, and guardians of young children, that you will never have to use this. Children tease and make fun, yes, but bullying is a serious issue among today's youth, and I don't think it has to be. My goal during this presentation is to equip you with enough strategies and resources not only to recognize the signs of bullying within your child, but to prevent them from engaging in or becoming bystanders to cruel and relentless intimidation. Now, before we begin, I think it's important that we define bullying. What is it, and is it any different from the typical teasing and taunting most children participate in? According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, the legal definition of bullying is acts or written or spoken words intended to intimidate or harass a person or to cause physical harm to a person or his or her property. I, however, would like to make an addendum to this because I think it's important to know that bullying in its truest form occurs over time. Now, if our child is equipped enough to put a halt to what he or she might see as a potential threat as soon as it begins, this is good. But the truth is, most children are not, and bullying in all forms typically occurs on a regular basis, which we're going to refer to as the cycle of bullying. The cycle of bullying, as you can see, revolves around what we refer to as social culture. This is a social environment, school, the playground, the neighborhood, even your house, that features a hierarchy of people whose differences place them in specific echelons. As we can see, the bully may have followers or henchmen to assist him or her in carrying out these acts. Supporters may also be present, and while they may not be directly involved or have a specific direct relationship with the bully, he or she will often agree with the acts and engage in an attempt to be cool or to avoid becoming a target. Passive supporters are similar, but they do not regularly take an active role in the bullying itself. Next, we have our two most significant roles, the disengaged onlooker and the passive defender. This is the majority of us, those of us who disagree with bullying but stay quiet to avoid becoming a target. This is where bullying becomes what it is. This is where it starts to hurt. Lastly, you have the defender and the victim. The defender is rare, and he or she openly defies the bully in an attempt to stop the behavior and assist the victim, who is typically downtrodden and passive. So what do? We know what bullying is, we know how it works, and we know it happens, but children rarely bully in front of adults. So, how can you prevent what you cannot see? Learn the signs. A child who bullies may have low grades, disengaged parents, and poor social skills. Victims may be perceived as weak, quiet, sensitive, or have low self-esteem. And bystanders, the most commonplace offender, are usually easily intimidated, passive, or budding bullies as well. And the best way to sense this in your child, regardless of his or her position in the cycle, talk. Conversation is key. Talk and listen to your child, and don't be afraid to hold serious discussions, especially about real issues that he or she might deal with, like bullying. Let them know that it is very serious, and if you sense your child is being bullied, or witnessing, discuss it with them. No matter what you do, don't drop the conversation. You are your child's most important, relevant resource. And on the topic of adult intervention, you have to practice what you preach. Be the example. All of us have or will speak down to or about someone at some point in our lives, but don't do it in front of your children, or anyone's children for that matter. What you do automatically becomes acceptable behavior in their eyes. Be kind with your words when speaking about someone that frustrates you, or simply keep those conversations private. Don't bully yourself either. This can perpetuate low self-esteem in already struggling children as they grow and adopt your mindset. And don't wait. Start early. Never assume that your child is too young to begin building a strong moral code of conduct or too young to start learning about respect for others. Bullying may take place primarily in schools, yes, but children aren't born in schools. The lessons begin at home. Teach them about different people, about the LGBTQ community, about those with disabilities. Teach them about race, about gender, and teach them that these things do not matter in terms of personhood and having a strong character. All these strategies are great ways for you to get involved and encourage a variety of friendships among your child. In 2012, the Child Mind Institute said that the number one risk factor for children being tempted to bully others was limited parental involvement. You should know who your child hangs out with, what his or her text messages say. You should know how much time they spend on social media, if at all. You should be at school events and extracurricular activities. A child who knows he is loved will not feel obligated to hurt other people in an attempt to release negative emotions. Be there and be aware. And in relation to awareness, Lizzie Velasquez, who has been called the ugliest woman in the world due to a rare medical condition, has managed to take her experience as a victim and become an inspiration. She now travels around the country speaking out against bullying and advocating for victims across the globe. Let's take a minute and see what she has to say.
I was introduced to bullying at a very young age. I was raised so normally that I honestly did not know that I looked different from other people or really what bullying was at all. My parents never sent me to school with the thought of, oh, be careful, kids are going to be mean, or, oh, they're going to stare at you. They never sent me in with those worries. So it was really big awakening for a 5-year-old to just be so confused as to why all of the kids were scared of me or not wanting to be by me because I wasn't doing anything to them. It's every girl's dream to have someone do your hair and makeup and style you and take fun pictures and meet and hang out with cool people and talk about makeup, and it's a lot of fun, but at the same time, it's all work. It's hard for me to say it's work because I'm living out my passion. And I feel like when you live your passion, you can never say that it's work because it's something that you love doing. And I still think of everything I'm doing now is my biggest dreams that I never knew I had. I never in a million years thought I would be in magazines or see myself on TV, much less see myself on a movie screen. All these things are just so crazy, and I definitely just take it day by day, and it's exhausting, but it's hard to complain about when you're doing what you love.
Lizzie is an excellent example of how perseverance can turn a situation that would destroy some people and make it a source of inspiration, and shows how advocacy can really go a long way. Unfortunately, there are so many others that don't have the power and the love that Lizzie has for herself. And unfortunately, some people don't survive bullying. So it's important that your children are aware of the outcomes and the side effects, regardless of what they are, positive or negative. They have to know it all. I'd like to close this presentation with a reminder. Even if you're positive that your child is not a bully nor being bullied, remember bystanders are bullies too. Talk to your children about speaking up when they witness bullying. Most schools feature anti-bullying programs where reports can be made anonymously, but they should also know that they should never be afraid to stand up for someone, friend or not. Simply put, it's the right thing to do. The Parents Toolbox. This is something I'm really excited about. I just have a few links here to websites designed to help parents educate themselves about bullying. From prevention tips to step-by-step solutions, I highly recommend anyone who is unsure of how to go about approaching this topic use these websites as resources. Finally, to end the slideshow that is on a slightly sour topic, I leave you with a quote. There isn't a person you wouldn't love if you could read their story. Teach this. Live by this. Raise your children under this premise. And remember that love is love, is love, is love. Thank you.